Welcome. It's Tuesday, August 25th. My name is Andrew Barclay. I'm your host today. I'm a customer success manager here at Vendasta, and I am joined today by my colleague, another customer success manager, Nathan Yaworski. Out there, he's just giving a big wave. So the great thing about tag teaming today is that Nathan also led the session that was held last week about choosing your vertical in packages. So really what he did last week was show you how to build an AI workforce package by vertical. So the right products, the right positioning, the right prompts for real estate, home services, auto, personal services, and pet care. So it's great that if you attended last week and watched that session, you've got a package ready. And if you haven't checked out that session, you can join and check out our recordings that are in our library here. Now, I'm just going to show this one. So before I jump right into things, I want to first give you a recap of what we did last week, because a lot of questions that came up in the chat were, well, how do I price this now that I've chosen my vertical? And we intentionally did it that way so that we would have this session that we could focus on pricing those verticals. So today, this session is being recorded. If you have questions, please pop them into the chat. There is also a Q&A button on the far right side in SQL here that you can use to ask your questions as we go. And then at the end of the session, we will review the Q&As. And as always, you can check the replays out on our YouTube page here. The link is there, and we will also be displaying that again at the end of the session as well. All right. You'd think it was my first time. It's not. All right, so last week, this is what we focused on. We built the package. And so this week, what we're going to focus on is the pricing here. So I'm just looking here. Before I actually transition into the next thing that I want to do, really what we're solving here today is, well, how do I price things? What does that mean? And also, based on a lot of conversations that we have with partners, really the key thing today is that I want you're going to walk away from the session knowing what to charge, why, and how to say the number of the package out loud with confidence, which is really a great thing to be able to do. So with that, there's the place that I want to start off with is, before we even talk numbers, is we need to talk about the story that you're telling yourself about your own value. So if you're pricing based on, well, what does the software cost me? You've already lost the game. You're not reselling software. You're packaging outcomes. And Nathan did a great job showing that last week. So more leads answered, more 5-star reviews, more booked appointments, more hours back to the owner's week. Clients don't buy AI, as we know. They buy the outcome of AI products and the outcome that AI produces, which is really then delivered by somebody that they trust. So your time is worth money. And if you're spending hours in customizing a client's AI receptionist prompt, that hour has a rate, you can charge for it. You can bill for expertise, so not just the execution. So strategy, oversight, and judgment are billable even when the AI is doing the work. And then activation is not revenue. So a client who signs up and churns 60 days because the price didn't reflect the value is never really a one client. So pricing for value is what turns activation into a durable, reoccurring line of revenue. All right, so the pricing framework. So here's a model that I want to show you so that if you really walk away with anything today, it would be this. So almost every way you can deliver the AI workforce to a client falls into one of these 3 buckets here. And each bucket earns a different multiple in your cost. So this multiple, it's not arbitrary. It's a direct reflection of how much your expertise and labor is wrapped around the technology. So this is also a great starting place. We've seen a lot of partners also go above and beyond these, but really this is what I'm giving you today and where we can start. So the 2 times, so for any outsource or white label fulfillment, so a Vendasta service or a third-party fulfillment that fulfills the work, you're the reseller or the broker of that. So you're not doing the work. So the client is really paying you for access and account management, not your labor. So this one has a thin defensible margin only, so you would really only 2x the cost or the value of that. In the next bucket here, the 3 to 4 times. So this is the self-serve technology along with the DIY. So the client or the AI itself uses the tool with no real service wrap from you or your team. You sold access, you did setup, but there's no ongoing hands-on delivery. It's priced above pure resale because you did the selection, the setup, and the support. And then this part here, the 5x to the 15x. So the partner delivered managed service using the tech. So your own team does the creation, the training, the automation, and optimization on top of the platform. So this could be, conversations AI, the social AI, social marketing services that you would provide. So this is where you're the laborer, and this is where the real margin lives. And what you're going to notice here in this is that the technology costs really barely move between these 3 rows. So, what moves is how much of your team's judgment, customization, and ongoing attention is really wrapped around the products themselves. And that's the whole game of the AI pricing. Stop pricing the software and start pricing the wrap. Kind of love that saying. Christmas is also coming, and I'm a very festive person. So, I love just that feeling of like wrapping something up as a gift, as a bundle, and something that you're going to be delivering off to people. Yeah. And you can choose what kind of wrapping paper you like to do. So 2 packages in 1 stack. So really now what I'm going to do is take you into creating 2 specific, Nathan focused last week on a specific vertical. So I really want to make this concrete and land it for you. So 2 packages built from almost the exact same Vendasta product stack and the same one that Nathan showed you last week for home services. So same tools, same wholesale costs would apply to you. It's just a completely different price because the delivery model is different. And really, this is the single most important part of today's session is now seeing then the breakdown of this. So this is the self-serve tier, the scale plan, you could say. It includes the AI receptionist, so conversations AI, fully automated, no human review needed with this. Reputation AI premium. The AI can auto respond to certain reviews. Social AI premium. So AI is drafting and auto publishes posts if that's set. And then the local SEO pro, listing sync, and citation builder. So this is all stuff that the client can self-serve inside of the platform in their dashboard. And then you can also be checking in with your client monthly on this. So the positioning that I also have is really we get your AI workforce running fast and keep it running. It's built for owner operators who want results without a lot of hand holding. So it's really price to sell in volume across your book. So here it's roughly, I would say, more of $170 a month US is what the wholesale cost of this would be, which then I've upped it to $549 a month and included a one-time fee of $299 as that setup and that onboarding. So really what I've done here is I've 3.1x the wholesale value of the product. And don't worry, I've got a live demo inside of the platform that I'll show you here in a moment. So this is the self-serve tier. And then we've got the managed service tier. So this is one that's got that 8 to 10x value to it. So it's the same underlying products as in the previous package, but here's some things that you can add to it that make it more valuable. So your team custom writes and tunes the AI receptionist prompts and escalation rules as per your client's business. There's Q&As that can be flagged in the conversations monthly. Your team reviews and edits every AI drafted social post before it goes out live, builds a monthly content calendar. Your team personally handles negative review escalation, delivers a monthly reputation report with recommendations. And then you've got dedicated onboarding and live monthly strategy calls with the owner. Again, these are just some ideas. You could throw in your own things based on what it is your secret sauce, what it is that your business does really well. And the positioning for this is we run your entire AI workforce for you, hands on, and show up every month to prove it's working. Built for owners who want it fully on off their plate. And then before I jump into the actual platform, I've got this to show you. So really, in all I've been talking about here is the tech has barely moved. You're selling the same AI software, the same products to the client. And what's changed here is the cost. So you'd see it's the wholesale cost of roughly $150, $170 a month. And then this is where I've multiplied. My math is wrong on this one. So it's 3.1 that I multiplied it. Oh wow, I really didn't come back and edit my slide. That's sorry, y'all. So that's $549 a month plus the $299 setup fee there, and then roughly about 9x you'd see. So I'd be charging my client $14.99 to roughly $19.97 a month, plus an initial $7.99 setup that can also include detailed onboarding sessions and a curated onboarding session that could involve 2 to 3 sessions with the client post a setup and configuration. All right, so now I want to go into my business app here. So hold on one second as I share and switch tabs. Okay, perfect. So what I did here, so I'm inside of our demo account. I went into the marketplace under packages here. And so I made one, which was this Amplify Local, the Accelerator Bundle Self-Serve. You can see I've got a different price here as well, but $497 plus the $299 setup fee. And I'll click on this here. So I'll show you everything that's involved. I've added the products. Perfect. So these retail costs that you're seeing here, this is all customizable. What I did over on the right side here, this is my favorite part of this, is it's showing you the total amount for resale, $497 plus a $299 USD setup fee. I can edit this. So if I wanted this to be $549, and then the price display modifiers, I can choose that. No, I just wanted to keep it as it is. So great, I've changed it now to $549. So this is that self-serve tier. And then the retail has just adjusted accordingly. I've hidden this, so I'm coming down into the purchase behavior. So the item visibility, contents and prices are hidden. So when it comes to seeing this inside of the store, they're just going to see the name of the package and the cost involved with it. They'll see the products that are involved. They won't see any of the prices associated with it. Yeah. You can see what it would look like further down here. And then you can also customize and hide all of this stuff here. So if you don't want any product details to show up or even the product icons and names, you can customize that here. And if you ever get stuck, you can use this purple icon up here and ask it to help you out. All right. So then after I've made the changes that I want to this, I can click publish. Perfect. So what I wanted to do with you folks here is just show you then how I would make that concierge, that hands-on package with this. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to copy it. Self-serve, we're going to call this concierge. I'm going to call it the same bundle. We could give it a different name. It's taking a moment for it to create this.
Might have to refresh.
I'll pray. Thank you, Nathan. I'll probably have to refresh. But this is what it would be like to get this set up. I'm going really fast. Oh, look, there it is, the concierge. Now it's got the same price, so I'm going to come in and edit this. So this setup fee, I think I said on the last one that it was a $7.99 setup fee, and I want this. I've got my chat open here. So what do you think, folks? For a concierge service, I said somewhere between $14.99 and $19.97. What number should I go with? First one I see in the chat that's somewhere within that range, I will go with. $19.97. All right, Michael. 500 venture points to Michael. Not redeemable for anything at this time, but maybe one day in the future we'll have something redeemable for those venture points. All right, so $19.97 is then what the cost of this Package is here plus the $7.99 setup fee. Amazing. And then I also love that it's showing me the breakdown here. So what's due upon purchase for your partner, or I'm sorry, your client is this amount. They're going to pay 27.96 in full. Woo! That'd be awesome to see. And then the profit at purchase for you would be 26.1650, and the reoccurring profit for you is 18.1750 per month. And then this is the breakdown of the wholesale cost. You'll see 179.50 is the exact same wholesale cost that the previous one had. So I'm going to click publish. Amazing. And then let's go back here and see if it's saved. Perfect. So then I have the concierge. I probably would choose a different name for this, but you've got the accelerator bundle, the self-serve, and then the concierge. I've just got these more for my own identification purposes. I wouldn't ever show this to a client of mine that it's self-serve. I would just give it a different name, and that reflects that. So I won't ask you for audience participation for that, but you get the idea of what you'd be talking about here. Nice. So I love that. Again, what we're seeing here is that this just the setup fee is there. That can be the same type of setup. It can be a different type of onboarding service. And then really what I would encourage you folks to do. So I did this based on Nathan's home services client that he worked on last week. So I really was thinking about this package for somebody who's in home services, to have these types of products here. Now, could you add more products? Absolutely. You can choose different products that you would like. Think about it more as what that original chart that I showed you of the 3 different tiers of the 2x, the 3 to 4x, and where you can look at the 5x to 15x to help determine what a good price is for these specific packages here. Now, oh my gosh, not optimizing this, but operationalizing this platform. I'm going to switch back to my other page that I've got here. All right, so we had a look at that inside of Fender. Oh, you know what I did? Of course, I clicked the wrong button. Hold on one sec. I wanted to share tab. I didn't want to stop sharing. Here we go. So we're back into this tab here. Perfect. We just saw this. You saw how I showed you the scaled plan, that self-serve, and then the concierge plan here. All right. So operationalize and find your upsells with this. So really none of this works if it's all going to live in a spreadsheet or live in your head or in a notebook at the side of your desk. So I also wanted to give you some tools here and how you can make your pricing tiers real inside of the Vendasta platform, so they're consistent, they're repeatable, and easy to update. So build tiers as separate packages in the marketplace. So packages starting from a recommended package and adding to your store any copy, and you can edit that copy freely. You saw that I had that inside of in my partner center there, where there was all the different customization. I can write a description about that package and change it at any time that I want to. So again, price at the package level, not at the product level. So changing the package price updates what the client sees without exposing, marked up line items or anything that's going to be hidden inside of there. The third one here, add a one-time setup fee on the package's retail price. So you can edit that total to capture the value of your team's onboarding work. Double check that it's positioned as covering your whole package, not just the first line item that would be on there, like Conversations AI. And then use add-ons for optional upgrades. So, Reputation AI, going with the premium instead of the pro tier, as you probably noticed, most of the products that I chose were the premium related options. So I recommend starting there and including the AI workforce that's involved with all of those specific products. If you needed to downgrade any products, sure, I just recommend going with the premium, because really your clients aren't necessarily going to know. So, they don't need to know. So just be firm and be solid that there's that. That's the addition that you're going to be going with. There are some other add-ons as well, such as with Reputation. You might want to include the SMS or the campaigns package already if you know that they're going to be a larger client that is sending out many reviews every month, or you might want to add in 200, 500, or 1,000 SMS credits as needed, or email credits. And then edit the marketing copy. This is a big one. So when you click in the editor, um, you can use this to scale different concierge tiers and have them each tell a story. Don't reuse the same description for each one. If you wanted to create, one for the home services that I made, you might also have, spa clients, or hair salons. Like, tailor the copy to the type of vertical that you're speaking to, so it's not just a blanket generic thing. It's really speaking to the problems that you're solving for that specific vertical. And then publish your store so existing clients can see it. This is an optional one. You may want to show them an upgrade path through the store. So if they're in the self-serve tier, you may want to showcase the concierge package that would be available for them inside of the store. And then with this as well, I also want to show you there. You might also be at a point where there are some upsell triggers in your current book. Now, a spoiler alert for Thursday, our sales and strategy session. Our senior sales manager is going to be speaking about this, but I just want to lightly touch on this here. Is, look, you don't need to have new clients to grow your revenue line. You might notice that your existing book of business has outgrown the tier that you're in, and here are some things that you can watch out for. I know some of you are snapping this one here, getting out your phones and taking pictures of this. So the first one, review volume climbing, and then if the owner is mentioning that they're ready for reputation, oh my gosh, the owner can't keep up. Review volume climbing, the owner can't keep up. So the great signal for that can be that they might be ready for Reputation AI Premium for a managed reviews. Oh, I really read that wrong. That's the review volume is climbing and the owner can't keep up. So that's a great one. I'm going to do a take two on that. So signal, the first one here is review volume is climbing. So they are getting too many reviews and they can't manage them on their own. The owner can't keep up with it. That's a great sign that they might actually be ready for the AI service involved with Reputation AI Premium, and having the AI respond to Google and Facebook. And so you might find a product upgrade there. Clients keep asking you to just tweak the AI script. Well, they might be ready for a managed or concierge tier where your team can prompt the tuning and make those types of adjustments. And also, if that's not something that your team has the ability to do, we have an optimization service for the AI agents for that. So that might be a line item to add to their service. So they're opening a second location and they're adding staff. So they could be ready for a multi-location package or a higher tier for reporting. So posting has gone stale and they want more content, then they might be ready to move from the do-it-yourself social AI to the done-for-you tier. Really, it's the social AI premium that's got the AI agents that are making content for them, and perhaps your team is there to support them in reviewing the what's coming out and even the branding strategies and social strategies. And then requesting a call to go over numbers. So if you find that your clients are asking you these things, they might be ready to pay for strategy and reporting, or a different type of concierge service that you could fine tune with them. So there might be signals that your existing clients are already giving you that they're ready to move up or have a different type of service. So with that, we also want to be honest about the real barrier that often then gets in the room, which is getting past asking for more money block. It's rarely the clients that stop us from charging more, it's us. So here's some things for you in how to get past that. So reframing the numbers. Anchor your costs of doing anchor the cost of doing nothing to them. So one mislead call from a home services client can be worth more than a month of the concierge plan or that top tier service package. Just say that math out loud to the client. You're not charging for software, you're charging for the outcome and for taking the work off of their plate. So say what you're actually delivering and not what the tool is that's you're using that powers it. Reframing the conversation. So present the higher tier first. I always recommend presenting the concierge service first, and then the lower tier, that self-serve one, as an alternate or alternative. Anchoring the higher makes the DIY tier look like an affordable option rather than making the managed tier look like the expensive one. And then package instead of itemizing. So again, we've been going over packages here. So a bundle removes the client's ability to negotiate line by line. It removes your temptation to discount any single piece or to remove something. Like, don't apologize for the price. State it plainly and then stop talking. The first person to speak after the price is stated is usually the one that loses the negotiation. That's up for debate. And really practicing these words, saying it out loud. Sometimes it is that experience of just saying it out loud in front of somebody that's more terrifying than the response that they're going to give us. And they might be more welcome to it and might be asking for a service like this. So try saying your price tiers out loud before your next call. Like, here's what it actually costs to have my team run this for you every month, not the software, my team's time. If that sentence makes you flinch, that's a mindset shift we opened with today. The moment you believe your own time is worth what you're about to charge, the client believes it too. All right. We've said quite a bit in our session today. It's 29 minutes after the hour here. So really, in closing, I like to give people homework. I like to give you folks something to do so that you can really take this on and be in a little less conversation and be in more action in your business, especially on the stuff that you took the time to show up here and learn and now go do something with. So, take one package you already have live and build its concierge sibling using the exact same product stack. You could even review your current packages and see, do I need to 1x it or 2x it based on the tiers that were in the previous slides here. Price the gap based on your team's real hours, not just on a gut feel. So, use your gut feeling as part of your board of directors in your decision making, not necessarily the one and only board of director to be, seeking counsel from. And then go find one client in your book showing an upsell trigger and have a conversation with them this week. And then also register for next week's session. You can catch up on last week's AI Jumpstart session, especially if you want to learn more about, your vertical and choosing a vertical for specific clients that you deal with. Go check out Nathan's session. Yeah. And then from here, I'm really going to move us to Q&A.
Alrighty, I'm going to pop one up for you here. I think we're going to get maybe some some feedback because we're in the same room here. Michael asks, I have all the industry-specific workforce packages created, but I like this idea of having 3 tiers. Should I do both? I don't want my store to be too cluttered or busy.
Oh, that's a great question. I always agree, but I like this idea of having 3 tiers. Okay. Well, I would say as far as the store being too cluttered, I mean, there's a couple things with this. One is your clients can see packages that are inside of your store, and I always like to ask people how often you're getting direct buys from what's inside of your store there. So you could show one specific package and then know that you've got the other ones available. You could showcase all of them. And if you have someone that purchases one, great. I guess I'd want to know a little more of your sales sequence, if they can self-upgrade inside of there, if you have them request a conversation with you or someone on your sales teams. But I'd say have 3 and know what the value is for each one of those 3. And is it different enough for your clients to actually see the incremental differences? So, yeah, I like that idea. I have 3. I don't know if anybody else on our team has any suggestions or feedback for that.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Andrew. I will just say, if you are worried about your store looking cluttered, maybe sticking to the concierge being like that front and center one, and then when you have the conversation afterwards, you say we also have this more kind of do-it-yourself option to position it. However, it really depends on how you feel your customers and your industry, your vertical is going to react to those sorts of things. You may want to start with the bottom and then have the concierge conversation. It's really, there's no real right or wrong answers. I always say if there was a silver bullet in this kind of thing, everybody would be doing it. So you got to kind of figure out, I hate to pass the buck back to you folks, but you do have to kind of figure out what's going to work best for not only your own sales process, but for how your specific customers are looking at things. I don't. Here we go. We got another question from Carolyn. Can you show how we can add additional services and products outside of the Vendasta products to a bundle? I think what she's creating their own. Sorry, I'm muted here. You heard me? Okay.
I heard you. Yes. Perfect. Love this question. All right. Well, let's talk about additional services, baby. Let's talk about things like these. I'm going to do this tab. Okay. You should see in my business app here, or I'm back in Partner Center here. Oh, this is a great question. So what you can do first off would be, Carolyn, is to go in the product section, and this is where you can create your own product. Now you can do it directly here. You can also open Vendor Center and create a product there, but let's just say I want to charge for onboarding services. And then I can click here, create a service. I could upload my own image. I'm not going to right now. Build one. So we're going to have this charge as a one-time fee. So if you knew that you wanted to charge, let's say this is, $4.99 is what you're going to be charging as a one-time fee for this. And then marketing description, onboarding sessions. Of course, you'd make something, sexier and more appealing than this. And then publish to store, publish. And thank you for bringing this up. I did forget to mention that. So now that I've made my own product for a service that I'm offering or anything else that you would want to offer there, I can come back to my package. And this is where I can onboarding services. Oh, wait, it's saying free. Hold on. Dang. Well, pretend that I did it correctly and the $4.99 showed up here. And so that's where I can add that onboarding service. Unless I clearly missed a step that somebody else on my team wants to call me out on, I'm more than okay with that. But you'd add your service here. And let's see. No, it didn't. Okay. So onboarding services there, and any other products that you want to add, you can do that here. And then just remember to hit publish after you make any changes and add anything. I'm just going to tell you.
Perfect. Oh, that's great. Next question we have is from Jill McAllister. Quote, here's what it will cost to have my team run this, unquote, leads to the customer asking what results they can expect. I'm always hesitant to promise results or to quantify what results they can expect. My current model is charging billable hours for my work. So I'm not seeing a question here, but definitely a good point to be made. If you're not prepared to speak to exactly what results, or you don't want to promise results, you may want to shift that talk track a little bit. And if your model is working for you to charge billable hours, I would just make sure that you are, especially if you're using our platform to bill your clients, make sure you're building those line items as products. Hey, these are my billable hours. It's 3 hours of my time. Make sure that you're charging for that. Make sure that's visible so that they see the value you're bringing to it. Andrew, I don't know if you have anything else to add to this one, but that's kind of my impression reading it.
Yeah, I love everything you said. Another question that could be great to be asking your clients also is, the challenges that they're having, like what they're expecting you to deliver on, because there's got to be something that they're going to expect you to deliver on. And those things then become in the unspoken. So it's great to bring it into language, especially in a partnership like this, to understand and have alignment so that you both can be knowing what success looks like, what you're here to deliver on. And I know it sounds like a lot to have a promise that you're going to fulfill with people, but the promise can simply be that work is getting done or X is completed by time Y. It doesn't have to be, I guarantee, I promise you like $10,000 more dollars in your bank account or something like that. Maybe steer away from those types of promises, yet having other ones, because like I say, your client's going to have expectations. And if you don't know that, that could also be the reason that they churn down the line or maybe start to treat you as more of a, uh, I know that you're doing billable hours, and I don't want to, assume that the dynamic that you would have, but someone may, treat you differently than you're the professional delivering on a service, more of, oh, you're here to just fulfill something for me. And this might not be the case. I could just see it being in that position of, oh, like I'm the business owner and, you're my IT support person, when you're actually, doing different skill sets and leveraging yourself differently. Anyway, that's what I would have to add to that.
Great. All right. We have another question from Tina. How do you prospect clients to start selling their tier packages? Do you create a customer price package for different types of industries, plumber versus HVAC versus restaurant owner? They all have different needs, etc. How do you recommend doing a cold call to HVAC? Any tips for demos to show value in the pricing packages, their tiers that you recommended? That's a lot kind of packed into one question. As far as creating customer price package for different verticals, we did talk about that a little bit last week. I wouldn't necessarily, if you're delivering the same sorts of services across verticals, I wouldn't necessarily price them differently based on those verticals myself. That said, you know your market and your customer better. Andrew, I don't know if you have anything to add to this one as far as cold call tips or pricing based on industry.
Oh, that's a great question. I feel like I'm trying to remember if we had something in the sales and strategy sessions recently. Like those are really more in the sales conversations than just the pricing aspect. Because really, what we're talking about today is mostly about the pricing with a little bit of that view on sales for each of those industries.
That's a good call out, Andrew. And I think if anyone is looking for those sorts of tips, you want to definitely register for sales and strategy with Vendasta, where they get into a lot of that kind of stuff. As Andrew mentioned, they have a specific topic every week, but they would be more, I think, more equipped to answer the sorts of tips and tricks rather than the platform navigation and knowledge that we cover in this podcast. I keep saying podcast. It's not a podcast. All right. Great question. Thank you for that. I believe that's all.
Strategy session. I like that a lot. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, the other thing I was going to show is we do have recommended packages. I don't know if you mind removing the question for Tina here as well. So this really may not answer your question about how to talk to the different markets, but if you're looking for a good foundation of where could I start with some different industries, under the packages section, we do have recommended packages. So you could see, real estate agents, insurance brokers, mortgage advisors, and then this one, contractors, HVAC. They're all the same products that'll be in here, but this could give you a really good idea of where to start with this, and even develop a talk track around some of that here as well. Just wanted to showcase that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Okay. Let me come back to this here. All right. So coming up next, I touched on this briefly, gave you a little hint on this. So our For our sales and strategy session coming up this Thursday, you can register for it. I believe Nathan will pop the link in here to sign up for this. So our senior sales manager, Keegan Pidwerbeski, is going to be leading the section on the expansion playbook. So finding value in your pipeline, in your existing book of business. So I showed a few things today. So if you really liked that, what could be some triggers of client activity that could I could upgrade them. This would be a really great session to attend as to dive deeper into that. So check that out. And then next week we are doing the AI Jumpstart business app, onboard clients and activate your AI workforce. That's going to be led by our very own customer success manager, Lily Yip. She is back on deck and will be presenting the onboarding flow for business app. I don't want to say too much more as I don't want to spoil it. Come check that out. And with that, thank you so much for attending the session live today. We really appreciate you being here. Thanks to those that are watching the recording and making time to be with us. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and we will see you next week. Bye.